I'd like to just run through today is give you a view of the social media landscape from a B2B perspective. I won't use big words like some other colleagues up here today. I'll also talk practically around the experience that we've had in the space, some of the war stories, some of the successes, and where we're going with it, and then give you a peek to the future, the way I see social media going forward. Well, if you look at that, again, busy slide, but I guess that's the point. If you enter into social media, there's a hell of a lot going out there. There's hundreds of applications. You don't know what to do when you first get into that space. Do you know how to tweet? Do you know how to log on to Facebook? Do you want friends? Don't you want friends? Even more so from a corporate perspective. We then looked at this and said, okay, well, we've got a problem. We need to simplify this. And in order to simplify it, we actually need to understand what we are as Deloitte. We're a professional services firm. So we took a step back and we said, what is really important to us? We've got people, which are our intellectual capital, and we have a brand, which is our only other asset. If we don't actually channel those correctly through social media, we could damage both. So what we decided to do was focus on communications, multimedia, and collaboration as the key areas within our space. And we engaged with 9 social media platforms to address 5 issues for the business. The 5 issues or objectives that we were looking to do were, 1, we wanted to fast-track our innovation process, which is over there. Sorry, I got this working. We wanted to enhance our recruitment process, speed up our recruitment pipeline, and then once we had the resources within the organization, how did we create stickiness? And within an intellectual capital business, you really need to create platforms for them to learn off. And then lastly, it's pointless that you actually educate them on the latest UBU technologies or ways of doing things if they can't actually share that with their peers or actually share that with our clients. So we had to create a platform for collaboration. And then lastly, we said we really need to look at this from a brand eminence perspective. If I just unpack most probably 3 of these in a practical sense, the Deloitte Innovation Academy, in the old way that we used to do innovation, was we typically go get 200 people together over a year's period, get them into various lecture theaters, boardrooms, etc. We'd ply them with, not alcohol, with YouTube videos, we'd give them Play-Doh, we'd create the scene, and then we'd throw questions at them. During that process of innovation jams, as we called it, we'd get 1,000 ideas. Of those 1,000 ideas, we'd be lucky to walk away with 8 decent ideas. It would take us 6 to 9 months from ideation to business case. And then to take those to our executive, we must probably walk away with 4 businesses that we were able to commercialize. So we sifted through a whole lot of crap out there. We then decided, okay, how can we use social media and crowdsourcing to channel that energy and basically do our job for us? So we looked at a Wikipedia-type platform, a microblogging solution, and YouTube, and we created the Deloitte Innovation Academy. I opened it up for a 5-week period. During that 5-week period, we gave access to all of our staff. We said to them, you have the right to log an idea. There is no bad idea. Log your idea, create your community around that idea, get your friends to vote on your idea, build on your idea, and enhance it. Everybody had 10 votes. During that 5-week period, we had 583 active participants in the Innovation Academy. We had 51 great ideas that came from that process. Through the ranking process, we landed up with 6 great ideas that we closed the Innovation Academy on. The next day, we reopened the academy with those 6 ideas and only those 6 ideas in there, and we created a template around business case. We then threw the challenge back to that community and said, you've got 4 days to go out, test your idea, do a SWOT analysis, do a business model on it, business case. What is the working capital required to actually activate this business within a Deloitte environment? What are the risks that you need to mitigate? Test it using YouTube, client interactions, external community. Of those 6 ideas, 5 of them were presented to our executive on that Friday afternoon. 3 of them got funding to go ahead. 6 weeks, we took 6 businesses through that process with a lot less effort from my team and had 3 excellent results. And now we've still got a space bank of 45 ideas that we can commercialize later going forward. So I think there is power in crowdsourcing. You do find unique ideas. I guess the catchphrase there is you need to actually create the safe environment for those ideas to be logged and channeled. The other area that I'd like to focus on is collaboration and knowledge management. And the product there that I'll talk about is Yammer. I saw the power of it about 18 months ago when I landed in Australia for a global meeting. I arrived there early in the morning, got to my hotel, logged onto the Yammer account, wanted to see what was happening in the community, what was the buzz.
I want to just tell some people might know what Yammer is.
Okay. Yammer is a microblogging tool that allows you to, it sits within your, well, in our instance, it sits within our domain, so only Deloitte people can access it.
So it's like a closed cloud Twitter.
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yammer.
Not Yammer.
M-E-R. And it's kind of authenticated by your email address, right?
Correct. You have to have a valid email address to actually activate it. So I logged on, checked out what was happening. I picked up one of the threads around surface computing, and the question was asked, does anybody understand surface computing in a banking environment? I posted what I knew. There were 4 other people that posted their comments. Later that afternoon, I got a phone call from the partner that posted it and said, please, can you meet me for breakfast? I want to unpack what you talked about. Next day, we met for breakfast. We then agreed that we'll create a wiki. We created the wiki. We posted all our presentations, our thoughts on. We created a crowd around it. Our communities contributed. End of that day, the partner was able to take a presentation to the client in draft format and had a discussion. Based on that discussion, we were then called in to do a formal presentation the day after. By the Thursday, we were asked to submit a formal presentation. By the time I landed back in South Africa on Sunday, we'd actually won 3 weeks' worth of strategy work in the banking environment in Australia. Now, that's quite powerful if you think of it, that all this person asked is, was asking the question, what are you working on? Who's got skills in this area? So it's not about having a beer, I'm having a pet, so I'm doing this. It's what are you working on? And if you look at that from an email environment, it must probably have taken you 5 weeks to get to that email. You would have deleted it, whatever. So it's quite powerful if you look at it from that perspective.